All right, so I just wrapped up an interview with Mel Hernandez, one of our students that's been with us about 6 months. He's now making around 10,000 per month. And if you actually stick to the end of this video, you will see Mel actually come to me and say, hey, can I share my numbers to show people basically what I've made since joining the program? And he shows exactly that. Okay, so you're gonna see a lot of raw, unfiltered advice from Mel going through that journey of starting his business to now making 10K a month, and also some of those insights that he was willing to share that I really think will help you out. So check it out. Hope you enjoyed the interview. And if you have any questions, reach out and let me know. Okay, guys, welcome to the interview. So today I'm with Mel, Mr. Hernandez. He's worked with us for, I think, probably in and around the 6 months kind of time frame now. I think that was when you first came on board. And yeah, it's been super interesting seeing him grow his agency. I know recently, Mel, you had your first official 10K month. We have the awards that should be shipped out to you pretty soon as well. Just got an email back from them earlier today, actually.
Nice.
So yeah, man, if you want to give people just a quick intro as to who you are, what you're doing currently, and then we'll dive a little bit into kind of how you got to this point as well, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Mao. I am originally from Mexico, a city in Mexico called Monterrey. I came to school to the US, and when I graduated, I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I decided that it was the right time to take the risk and go for it. So I worked for a year, but I always had the an entrepreneur spirit. So after a year of working, I started my agency. This was about a year and a half ago, and yeah, the agency is called Momentum. I started the agency with my wife, and in January of this year is when I met Adam. I found him through YouTube. I watched all those long, very long videos, and found so much value. So decided to connect with Adam, and yeah, right now we 6 months after, obviously we saw a bunch of results in very different ways, and got lots of value from the course. So
Amazing. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. And Mel, I guess the first thing I'd love to kind of jump into, man, was you said that when you were in school in the US, it was kind of clear to you, you wanted to be an entrepreneur, you wanted to have a business. How did that journey go? Because for most people, it's not a straight line. They've tried a bunch of things. So where did you first go? And then how did you end up with the kind of marketing agency model?
for sure, for me, so my first year working, I absolutely hated to work for somebody else.
Mm,
I don't know, man, just the fact to feel that I'm putting in my energy, my hours, and all my work into something that is not mine.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, I was getting compensated and everything, but I couldn't stand the fact that I was growing someone else's businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, that just stuck in my mind, and I always had this. I think also my personality goes together with being entrepreneur a little bit. In my family, my dad owns a business, so I always had that vision in mind. And the moment I found an opportunity to get out and start this journey, I took it.
Nice. Love it, man. Love it. And did you start straight into the agency, or was there anything else that you kind of experimented with beforehand?
On my own, you mean
Yeah, yeah. So I guess when you had that first opportunity, was it straight into the agency, or did you try
it
anything else
was
first?
it was straight into the
Straight in.
agency.
Cool.
Yeah, I started focusing mainly on paid ads. So
Mm-hmm.
that was how I started in the agency space. And then I slowly started shifting towards more social media management and
Mm-hmm.
content creation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, timing was perfect when I met you, because we were trying to do that transition
Mm-hmm.
towards more the social media,
Mm-hmm.
more towards the organic part of social media marketing. And but yeah, it was the first time. There was not really other type of business that I tried or that I had in mind. It was like the first opportunity that came for me.
Love it. Love it, man. That's good because the amount of horror stories I have from people where they just get into the wrong opportunity to start. And that can, for some people, dampen the spirit completely. They
Yeah,
try that thing, it's not the right thing for them. And then you go, hey, business isn't for me. I'm meant to work job or whatever else. So really great, man, that you just found something that actually clicked with you straight away. Just to give people context, Mara, then, so where you're at now, so in and around that kind of roughly 10K per month mark, I'd love for you to kind of break down just for people like what that looks like, maybe number of clients. You mentioned there, like it's really just social media management, content creation. That's the kind of core of the business right now. But just to give people kind of like the outlay, what actually is the business and what's the behind the scenes look like?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna take a look at some numbers because I don't know them from the top of my head. But
Go on, man.
so currently we have 8 clients on
Hmm.
retainers with
Hmm.
social media management and content creation packages. And then I'm working on a couple others that they only do paid ads. So we still do some paid media for some of the clients, but as you mentioned, our core is obviously the organic stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would say about 8 clients on retainer. And currently, yeah, on June we were able to hit that 10K mark for the first time in the agency. So it was super exciting. Um, I want to say I also work on side projects.
Hmm.
We talked about
Yeah.
this in the past. Like this is something that excites me a lot to work on side projects. Just kind of keep it interesting, like because obviously side projects are like new things and yeah, especially like branding projects and websites.
Hmm.
I got lucky. You connected me with Sadek, which is
The
a
legend.
great, yeah, he's a legend. This is a guy in Pakistan that he's like very capable and he's very
Hmm.
reliable when it comes to like projects and stuff. So um, obviously I don't do the projects myself. I outsource them for the most part. But being that middleman and I don't know, kind of like being between my client and the people working on the project, it's very cool to see that process and
Yeah.
I enjoy those a lot. And I want to say from my revenue, probably like 75% of my revenue,
Hmm.
it's from my clients. And I want to say like around 25% comes from the side projects
Love
right
it.
now.
Nice. Nice, man. Yeah, it's really good that you brought that up because it gives people the clear picture. So out of let's say June, the 10K month, yeah, some of that is recurring that is going to come in next month or this month, July, right? As we record this, like that
Yeah.
75%. But there is that buffer. There's that little bit where you kind of have to drum up those deals every month. And that's not something you can control every month, obviously. Sometimes you'll just have more demand than other months. And it kind of is what it is, man. That was actually one of the things I did really want to
I
bring
do
up,
want
man.
to add, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Go,
I do
go
want
for
to
it.
add something. We never do any type of outreach for the side projects.
Hmm.
I think this is more like because obviously we're working with clients for the social media part, but they need other marketing stuff. And instead of having them like looking around for people to do this type of projects, we try to offer that like one one solution, like one for all solution. Like let's say we're working with a client for social media, they need a website or they need to work on their branding. We we get them that solution for them, and that also adds value to our partnership for the social media part. So we never look for this type of projects; they just come, um, and we take on them. But yeah, so it's gonna be very volatile in my opinion. Like there might be some
Hmm.
months that there's no projects going on,
Hmm.
which is okay. But yeah, that
Yeah,
was just I wanted to
definitely good to know, man.
say
Good to
that.
know. And like for people listening, just to give them kind of the context on what the projects are. Obviously, I know just from the work you've been doing with Sadek what they are, but yeah, man, just to give people a breakdown, like it's mainly extra things like graphics they need, like you said, maybe a website, something very much related to what you're doing anyway. But I know there's going to be some questions of people going, yeah, but like what
Hmm.
exactly are we offering to clients as the extra project?
For sure. Oh, you want me to go more in depth with the side projects? Yeah, it's mainly branding, I would say, and some websites, but very basic. I don't take on like very complex projects. Like if it's gonna take me months to do it, I usually try to avoid them. Um, but yeah, it's mainly like one page websites, not
Hmm.
nothing too complicated. Stuff that I know that we can do, and it's not gonna yeah, it's not gonna take so many time from myself, and that I can be putting into growing the core of the
Hmm.
business, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Good for people to know that, right? That are listening in, that like these side projects shouldn't detract from the main focus. They should just add value to clients. Like you said, keep them happy and in your service rather than going elsewhere. That's like the core. But also for
Yep,
you, they shouldn't create a ton of drag. And like that, if you have the right operator, so in your case, the legend we know of Sadek, he operates, you give him a very clear brief, whether it's a logo, website graphics, something like that, and he'll probably get it done like really, really
yeah,
well. Very minimal input from you. So it's a pretty high profit, high leverage service as well, which adds value to the client, which is kind of like the real winner here, that they stay with you.
for sure.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
agree.
man. One thing, Mo, I'd love to get your thoughts on is why you wanted in the first place to actually focus on the organic and the social media. Obviously, I'm very biased when it comes to this, as you know, I'm a big fan of it, but
Yeah.
curious, man, because like you came from the ads background. So if somebody, let's say, is watching this and they're doing some ads right now, but they've not considered social media or organic, or they've thought it's not for them, I'd love to kind of hear your thought process on why you think they might or they should potentially look at adding it in as well.
Yeah, man. I think the main factor that made us kind of like make that shift was the pressure.
Mm,
Obviously, like paid ads clients, they're expecting immediate results. Like if after 30 days they don't see any return on their investment, they start to freak out. Because obviously they're spending money on ad spend that goes directly into Facebook or whatever platform you're advertising on top of the management fee that they're paying you.
mm,
So it can be it can be a high investment, and they're usually super like they're looking every day into their money, investing how that money is yeah, how that money is being like used and spent and all of that.
mhm,
It's very draining, honestly. So that's when I decided to stop offering that as a
mhm,
core.
mhm,
Uh, Obviously, I did that for almost a year, so I did learn a lot of things about Facebook ads, and that's why I don't think it was like time that I wasted, because I did learn a lot. And for our clients right now, some of them do need to start doing some paid ads,
mhm.
and that's something we can offer as an upsell.
Yeah,
But that's not what we do to get people through the door. So I think
love it.
that's a big change.
Yeah, I love that, man. That pressure, even from the experience I had with doing like freelance work with ads, damn, it's intense. It's intense,
Yeah.
man. Which it should be, right?
Mhm.
Because like as you said, they're spending their money, so they have to be very careful where they spend that money. They can't just throw the money and hope for the best. Like they have to look at it every day, every week, and check the numbers and make sure they're making money back. So yeah,
For sure.
definitely good way of looking at it, man. Now I'd love to, yeah, touch on, obviously, as you said, you started this with your wife, which is really interesting to me, man, because we work with some people that are in a partnership. Some people are in a partnership with like a friend or an acquaintance, someone they met, in college, right? But we have some people like yourself where you're
Yeah.
actually doing it with your significant partner. I'd love to know kind of, I guess, how you found that process. Only obviously share what you want to share, right? But just for people
For
listening,
sure.
because I get this question quite a lot of like, should I do it with my partner? And I'm like, hey, look, I haven't done it with mine. So I can't speak on if it's, yes, no, terrible,
Yeah.
what's the take. But just from what you've seen, man, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not easy. It's not easy for sure. There will be some challenges, and I think the hardest part is to kind of like separate that work life with our personal life.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's a great question. I think honestly, I got really lucky that we complement each other well, because whatever she does in the agency, I'm really bad at doing that. And
Mhm.
then whatever I do, like all the admin, client relationships, sales, all that part, she hates. So we kind of complement each other. We each take care of some stuff. We try not to like work on the same stuff. I think that's probably the key for us. Like we try to stay away from working on the same stuff every day, because that's
Yeah.
when we can get there can be some friction for sure. um, but yeah, I mean, she's awesome, and she's always supported me. And obviously, I was the one that came up with this crazy idea to start an
hmm
agency,
hmm hmm
and she's always supported me since day one. We've been in this journey since day one, so that's
hmm
also something important to mention.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, definitely, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. You really have to consider a lot of factors to
Yeah.
take a decision to work with a partner, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, man. It sounds like it. Sounds like it. And, I think something I know just from the work we've done that you've really focused in on the last few months, which I think is really, really fucking cool, man, is enjoying the journey. Like actually building a business that you like, and doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't just add money to the bank accounts for the sake of you working on things you don't even enjoy, right? But actually working on the projects you like, you get excitement from, and you actually feel fulfilled while, of course, making more money. I'm curious, man, if you've any kind of thoughts on that of like, how did you kind of go through that? Because that's a journey, because I think with every business, there's always a point where, for me anyway, from anything I've done, there's always a point where things aren't amazing, and you kind of you either push through it or you make a pivot or you have a mindset shift. And I found that's always been the case for me.
Yeah.
For you kind of going through that, man, like, is there any lessons you've taken away from it that you feel you'll be able to kind of, I guess, just kind of bring, into the future?
Yeah, I guess one thing that I've been I think it's more like a mindset thing. And for me, I mean, there's always going to be more and more and more. Like if you're trying to always make more and earn more money, increase your revenue, there's never going to be a place where you're satisfied. There's always going to be someone making more money than you, someone funnier than you, someone more handsome than you. There's always going to be more and more. And so I guess like that's a great point. For me, honestly, when I started delegating and hiring people, and when it actually stopped being only just about myself, that's when I started to enjoy more this journey, because I was like, wow, like now my business, like people depend on my business. It's not just me anymore. Like
Mm,
we're providing for other people and they have families, and like it's just not about me anymore. So that helped me a lot find more purpose in this
mhm,
journey,
mhm.
but also know the fact that there's always going to be more and more and more. And if you're never happy with where you're at right now, you will never be.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I guess that's kind of like the thought I have on that.
Love it, man. It's a really like it's awesome that you've had that, man, because I know a lot of people it takes like such a long time to get there. Such a long time to have that realization. And it's often after they've achieved some big number they've been chasing for years, and then they get the number and they're like, whoa, the number didn't mean that much. Okay, I have a little bit more money, I have a bit more freedom, great. But like I haven't actually figured out the personal fulfillment side. So yeah, man, really, really interesting. And I think the fact
One
you've gone through
one
that now, you'll kind of hopefully be able to hold that going forward.
Yeah, one big thing I wanted to share is that you have to be very clear on your definition of success.
Mm,
Because let's say for me, like let's say when I was doing like 3K a month, if my definition of success was making 10K a month, then I would never be happy until I get to that point.
yeah.
And it's tough. But if your definition of success, more than a number, is to maybe build these habits and or do tiny things every day, or like how you mentioned in the course a lot, like that 1% better every day. Like if your definition of success is to get 1% better every day instead of
Mm,
to get to 20K a month,
yeah.
then that changes the whole mindset, right? Like
Yeah.
you start to be more happy because you're getting those wins day after day, and you're not waiting to get to that point to to feel happy and fulfilled, right? So definition of success, I think it's big.
100%. Couldn't agree more, man. He said there's always going to be, I think it's a great way of putting it, man. There's always someone better, who has more money, who's got a nicer car, who's more attractive. That's just life. There's always someone who's going to level you up in whatever regard we're looking at. And it's the same, of course, in business, as we always talk about in the program. Like, yeah, you're starting off this business. You're not the most experienced. There's always going to be someone with more experience. Or you're going to charge 500 a month. Yeah, there's going to be someone who charges 200 a month. There's always competition. It's just the way it is. And I think that perspective is really key to just understand, like you said, man, define it yourself and get clear on that from the start so that you don't get stuck in that trap. If I'm at 3, I'll be happy when I hit 10. You hit 10 and you go, hey, I'll be happy when I hit 20. You hit 20, so on and so forth. It's an endless pursuit, endless journey, man.
Sure.
So really, really wise, man. Good to have that perspective. With your clients, Mel, I know for you, like pretty much everything has been local clients so far. And I'd love again just to get your perspective on kind of one, how you've done that, right? Like what has been the approach and the kind of thought process of how to get the local clients? Because we've actually quite a few people in the program that have just local clients like yourself. And a lot of times it's a very organic thing. It wasn't like there was a strategy that they put in place, but they kind of just maybe met one client and then from there it kind of snowballs, oftentimes through like word of mouth, referrals, maybe the odd networking event. So just up until this point, man, getting to say 10K a month, what has that actually looked like to get clients?
Yeah, for me, a friend of mine when I got out of college and I was applying to I probably applied for like 100 jobs and got like 2 interviews and they were really bad. So for me, like this friend told me like you just have to get out of your like just get out of being behind the computer applying to jobs. Just get
Mm,
out, meet people,
mhm,
get out of your comfort zone, join communities, join a gym, start talking to random people. Like just get out, and start selling yourself as a person. And that stuck with me a lot. And when it came down to outreach in the agency, I kind of like use that mindset
mm,
to just try to get out and meet new people and not with a goal in mind of like, oh, I want to eventually like sign them as a client, but just be open to create new relationships and every day, and that kind of stuck with me a lot, and I've transitioned that to the agency, and I think for me that has worked well. I know it's not very predictable,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Getting local clients through referrals. But for us, and I mentioned it to you, like I feel like we're growing slowly but steady. And
mm.
I really like that feeling that we're taking care of our clients. Our clients are really happy. We're building relationships with our clients, even personal relationships with our
Mhm,
clients. Like
mhm,
our retention rate, it's really good. Since we started the agency, we only lost one client so far. So that's kind of like the route I decided to take.
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
not against outreach, and I'm probably considering doing some type of outreach soon if we want to take this to the next level. But for me, that's what worked so far. Just being able to meet these people in person, shake their hands. I think that adds so much value than just having
mhm.
like a Zoom call.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like that impact, even with the events we do in person, it's just so different, because you
Yeah.
get to shake their hand, literally be in the same room as them. It's the impact we can try replicate it, but it's not the same. Yeah, it's interesting, man. And like that, the fact that you've only lost one client, like, man, that is so good. That's so good.
Yeah, and we put a lot of effort on service delivery and
Mm,
making sure our clients are happy, and like we try really hard to not let a week go by without our clients just getting even like a tiny text from us,
yeah.
something.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that's key. Like it's cheaper. I think you mentioned this before in this talk with you. It's cheaper to keep clients than to get new ones, right?
100%, man. 100%. And to give people an explanation, right? Why is it cheaper? Well, one, it costs to get clients. If you're getting clients in person, that costs you time. Maybe you bought a ticket to an event and you met the client at the event. Well, it costs you money, right? But I think more importantly is when you bring on a new client, as you know, Mao, it's like, wow, that first month, you're probably going to do more for them in that first month. In effort wise anyway, maybe not the deliverables, but like of the effort you're putting in, maybe then you'll do in the next 2 months. It's kind of just how it goes because they're new. You got to make a good impression. You need to make sure they have absolutely everything. You might need to explain a few things, how this works, how that works. So again, if you're just constantly doing that, like you have to do it every month just to stay afloat with new clients, it's tiring, really tiring, and you're not going to make as much money either. So
For
yeah,
sure.
it's a really good way of looking at things, man. Any other pointers you have on that, Mel, of client retention? You mentioned there like communication, so like checking in once a week minimum. Just keep that I guess just touching base and make them remember you and keep that relationship up there. What else would you say you've put effort into that's really paid off for keeping on your clients?
Well, obviously, when it comes to hiring, it's super important. Like when you're delegating things, so it's not easy.
Mm,
Um, and there could be some setbacks for sure. But I think when it comes to hiring, I've been following a lot of your advice in the course when it comes to hiring. And there is this quote that says, you probably mentioned it in the course, but it says, hire slow, fire fast, I think. But anyways, so applying all these methods and tactics to hire and stuff, that also has helped us to get high quality, like A players in the
hmm
team
hmm
and be able to keep that quality up as well. Because that's a big risk when you start delegating. The
hmm
biggest risk is to drop quality. So
Yeah.
I think when it comes to hiring, um, we think we've done a decent job there, and we have kept the clients happy as well. Like when clients start seeing that other people are doing the work that you used to do,
Mm,
sometimes they can freak out too.
of
They're like,
course.
"Oh, shoot!
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we don't have direct communication with the founder like all day, every day anymore." And that's kind of like that's a big shift.
hmm
But doing it the right way, I think it's worth it. So
Definitely. It's great points, man. Because like you said, hiring can really make or break. Because that fear, right, of let's say I'm working with Mel and we've been 3 months together talking back and forth, and then all of a sudden, I don't hear from Mel anymore, and there's like some other guy, John, who's just talking to me. Of course, I'm gonna be like, who's
yeah,
John? Where's Mel gone? I liked
yeah,
Mel. He was good. But the
yeah,
thing is, what if John comes in and John is even better? What if
even better.
John takes even better care of me, puts in more effort and delivers a better result? Then I'm going to be happy and like, hey, this is great. But obviously if it slips and John's just not Mel, I'm going to be like, hey, this isn't
Yeah, for
this isn't
sure.
it. So great you mentioned that, man. And then that's why people need to just find the right person. You know, we've had so many cases with specifically people that don't have any experience with social media that come into this and outsource right away. So they get a graphic designer or a video editor on the team like right away for the very first client. And we've seen it work really well in those cases because they're finding someone who's better than them because they don't know how to create content or do graphics or do videos. So they kind of go from, whoa, I don't know how to do this to, whoa, now I actually feel quite confident. Obviously I'm not going to
Yeah,
do it myself, but like I feel like this guy that I've got ready to go will probably serve my clients way better than I could ever even do it. So now I can just focus more on getting clients, building the team, getting the structure right, and scaling that way, which,
yeah,
for anybody listening is key. If you're doing 10K a month just by yourself, you're going to be very tired and you're going to be very stressed.
yeah. There's an exercise that you made us do in the course where you have to literally write down like what you're good at and what you're
Mm.
not good at, and that's been super helpful. Like, why do you want to keep trying to do stuff that you're not good at? Like, there's so many talented people out there. You just have to
For
find them.
sure. For sure. For sure, man. I remember getting my first graphic designer being like, oh wow, look at this, like way better than I could do. And that would take me 2 hours. And this guy I can pay, $5 and he's delighted. And he's like, this is amazing. This is a great setup. And everyone's
For
happy.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it, man. Love it.
I agree.
All right, Mel, before we move on, we've got a question in from Connor who's on the live call with us. So I'll get to that in a moment and we'll see if there's any
Okay.
other questions that come in. One thing I wanted to ask you, just kind of to leave people with. So for the person who's watching this, who's a beginner, they've never done this before, they're hearing you speak and they're probably, half of them is like really inspired and motivated of like the journey you've gone on and what you've done. The other part of them is probably in a bit of, self-doubt. Am I the right person for this? Mao seems like he had it all kind of planned out and, it's gone really well for him. What would you say to that person? Or what would you even say to yourself before you started that you feel like would have taken you just onto the right path really from the start? Because it's tough to start something new.
Yeah. Honestly, I've only talked about the good things
Hmm.
of my journey, but there is so many bad moments
Yeah.
and probably countless. Like, yeah, like there's been so many bad moments where I doubted myself and things were not looking great. And honestly, my wife played a good role there. Like
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
I didn't even believe in myself, she did. So that kind of like kept me going and stuff.
Love that.
So not it's not ever gonna be pretty. Like it's
Hmm.
not gonna be like every single day. It's gonna be pretty. I do want to say one thing for me is comparison. For me, comparison was killing me,
Hmm.
but really bad. Just going online and on social media and looking at other people do really good while I was like stuck and doubting myself. That was killing me so much. And actually, when I started the course with the 6FA course, that was something that helped me so much. Like you made us promise like you're not gonna go into YouTube unless you have like a specific topic that you need
Yeah.
an answer for. You
Yeah.
don't go to YouTube.
Yeah.
And that helped me so much because I stopped comparing myself to other people. I start focusing on myself and
Mm.
on tiny steps, and that helped me, and that kind of like paid off after a few months. I want to say something. I like to think about my yard, so I would tell people focus on your yard. So
Mm.
don't start looking at your neighbors' yards.
Mm.
Start planting your seeds on your yard. Start working on your yard. Don't look other yards, and eventually one day you're gonna have a really nice yard and you're
Yeah.
gonna be able to invite people to your yard and learn from you. But you have to keep your eyes on your yard right now and start planting those seeds now because there is also delayed gratification in this process. So that's the way I like to see it. Um,
Love it.
the other thing, this I love this phrase, and it's you know how you say like when you're shooting a gun, you say ready, aim, fire, right?
Hmm.
So I like to see it, and I got this from a book, and I like to see it like instead of ready, aim, fire, it's ready, fire, aim.
Nice. I like
So
it.
this means like you still have to get ready. So make
Hmm.
sure you educate yourself, you prepare yourself in the shortest period of time, like start a course, join a community, start learning as fast as you can, and then shoot. And then after you shoot, that's where you start aiming and making adjustments on the way.
Mm.
But you have to shoot because if you wait to aim perfectly before you shoot, it can take so much time, and you're probably never gonna take that first step. So that's a big one for me.
Love it, man. Love it. I think those are some really good reminders, man. Because the age we're in now, I find specifically YouTube, Instagram, you're going to be flooded with people who are doing better than you. It's just the reality, or look like they're doing better than you, right? And I think that's the key perception there of just because somebody has this big vacation that you haven't gone on, it doesn't mean they're happier. It doesn't mean they're more fulfilled or successful. It's just they've done a thing that you're viewing now as, oh, I'll be happy when I do that thing. So Again,
for
man,
sure.
really, really awesome that you brought those points up because it's very easy in this space to just see the guy with the nice watch or the nice house or whatever and just think that that's happiness and that's success when it's not. Like that's just one part of the bigger picture. Yeah, man. Yeah, awesome.
Sure.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I got the question here from Connor so far is more so around your kind of workflow. So he said, what time does your day begin? And then on average, how much time are you putting in on a daily basis with the number of clients that you have?
Yeah, so I usually wake up around 7 a.m. and but the first hour of the day it's for myself. So before 8 a.m. I don't look at my phone,
Mm,
computer, anything because the moment I look at the phone, I start thinking about all the things that I have to do and
yeah.
problems and stuff. So that's so big. Like the first hour of the day, no phones. I just take time for myself, hydrate, try to read a book and write a little bit as well. And that's key for me to kind of like reset every day.
Hmm.
Once I start going, I usually take work blocks, and I learned this from Mr. Adam. Um, so I usually take a morning block. This is usually from 8 to 10:30-ish. That's when I have some breakfast, first meal of the day. After that, I go to exercise. And this is big. Like I have to exercise in the first half of the day because then it's tougher because by the end of the day you're kind of drained mentally and stuff, and sometimes I don't do it if I leave it until the end. So I have to
Hmm.
go exercise. I have to go get that win after that first work block. And yeah, after exercise, I do another work block in the afternoon. This is probably a more extended work block, around 3 hours, I would say at least. And yeah, it really depends on the day. Some weeks are more heavy on calls and managing the team and stuff like that. Other weeks, oh, a big thing for us is we do photo shoots. We do some in-person photo shoots as well. So some weeks we're out with clients shooting stuff and helping them out. It really depends, and that's kind of like what keeps it fun because not every week is the same. And usually weekends is what I take to work on systems and people. So it's kind of like the 2 days I have to innovate.
Mm,
Um, because if I try to innovate during the week, then I stop doing other stuff that it's a little bit more like the routine stuff that I have to work on. And system innovating is probably the most fun part of the business. Um, but I try to leave that for the weekend.
solid, solid, man. Yeah, and I know just to give some more context, like the way you've kind of structured things is like that you've certain weeks of the month that are just for more tasks. So like the shoots with clients, like physically going and shooting some content with them, like you try and batch that together so that it's kind of one big week of that. So not
Mhm.
every week is like that. And that obviously keeps things exciting, but also means you can kind of just focus in on that one thing that week. Just get really good at that, lock in on that, and then kind of close that chapter for the other
Yeah.
3 weeks of the month, which I think is a
One
really
thing
smart thing, man.
Yeah, man. One thing I've been doing lately, and that helps with retention too, is that every week, so every Monday, um, there is this book called The One Thing.
Mm,
I highly recommend it, but I kind of like define that one thing for each client that I can do better or improve to add more value to the partnership.
mm,
So me as my role of like the leader and stuff, like I try to focus on those things, like what's the one thing I can do for each client this week to add more value. And that's kind of like how my week goes off. Yeah, like besides all the work that I do with my team and stuff, but
hmm.
that kind of helps.
Amazing. Amazing, man. Well, Mel, this has been super valuable, man. I've asked these questions knowing most of the answers, but still I've found I'm like, wow, I just love the way you're looking at this, man. I think you have such a good vision of where you're going with this. And yeah, man, it's been such a pleasure working with you. So appreciate you hopping
Yeah,
on, man, spending the time with us, giving the
yeah,
feedback
man,
and sharing the
for
wisdom,
sure,
man. It's been fun.
for sure. I just want to say to people listening to look forward, but not too far.
Yeah.
That's something that I try to keep in mind a lot, and it helps because if you look too far, then um, you can start to feel very anxious
Hmm.
sometimes.
Hmm.
So I want to say look forward, but not far. Think about that next step that you can make, but not too far.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. The whole
But
five
thank you
year
so much.
plan, I don't think it's a good way
Yeah,
of thinking. Set that 5 year plan. Anytime I've done it, I've deviated 10 times. So you may as well just
for sure,
go for 6 months, a year. Keep it short, keep it simple. Get the
for
small
sure,
wins
man.
in and you'll build as you go.
Yeah, man. Can I share really quick my results since I joined the course?
Oh, of course, man. Yeah, let's do
I don't
it.
think I can share my screen, but this is crazy, Alan. Like
Let me put it
just
on. You can do a screen share now.
let me see. Oh, I need to enable it on my computer. Let me see if it lets me do it now.
No worries, man. Take your time. Yeah, let's load it up now.
Okay, so this is my revenue stats, and it's just crazy, man. Like I joined the course on January, end of
Hmm.
January. I was doing around 3K, 3.5K, and I mean you can just see how things improved so much from the moment I started the course. Like it's mainly mindset, I would say, but
Mm,
the numbers are there, and like for people thinking if it's possible, it definitely is. I just want to put this out there, and yeah, man, it's
love
been
it.
crazy. It's been a hell of a ride with Adam
Yeah.
and the team.
Amazing, man. Appreciate you sharing the numbers. I know people will appreciate the transparency and actually
Yeah,
willing
man.
to put it out there, man. So, yeah, really appreciate it, man. Mel,
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
where can people
Hmm.
find you, man? If people want to kind of check in on what you're up to.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, obviously, they can send me a message on Telegram.
Hmm.
I've connected in the past with some other students, and we have great conversations. Uh, on Instagram, it's Mau Hernandez, but
Hmm.
instead of the Z at the end, it's a seven. Um, but yeah, if you guys want to give me a follow, I'll follow back. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't really have a personal brand. It's just me. I'm just a normal person, but yeah, happy to connect with people.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Mel, thanks again, man.
Thank you, man. Helen, see you soon.
All right. See you soon, man. Have a good
Take
day.
care. Bye
See you
bye. You
guys.
too.
Hope this was helpful.